This video is a short introduction to listening blocks. Listening blocks are those things that make it difficult for you or somebody else to listen, to make each other feel heard and understood. Think about all the things that make it hard to listen. Obviously, if you're in a conflict or if there's misunderstanding or there's an unresolved issue that requires forgiveness or interpersonal issues, those are all pretty obvious listening blocks. When you want to win an argument, you're not listening. When you feel offended, when there's a dignity violation, there's all these things that can get in the way of listening and making each other feel heard and understood. But there's also logistical challenges to listen. Do we have the right environment? Do we have enough time? Have we scheduled opportunities to listen? Is a meeting agenda set up in order to make people feel heard and understood? Is there the intention present to make the other person feel heard and understood? With breakthrough listening, we define listening as doing what it takes to make speakers feel heard and understood. So when you're doing that, you actually need to listen in a specific type of way. That means you need to listen anyway, even when it's difficult. You might mitigate some listening blocks by trying avoiding them or removing them or overcoming them. For example, I have a fly right here. You see it, or a mosquito? That's a listening block. I actually have a resource out there of over 300 listening blocks that might come up for you or others. But I don't have 300 different solutions to listening blocks. It's basically be aware of them, mitigate them, or remove them if you can. But if you can't, the golden rule of breakthrough listening is when a listening block occurs, don't use it as an excuse. Instead, listen anyway. Listen even though it's hard to understand that person, even though that person has offended you, even though there's a dignity violation. Now, why would you do that? Because of the opportunities that are available for you and others if you make that other person feel heard and understood. And some of those opportunities are to avoid the cost of continued bad listening or lack of listening. So there'll be much more about that here at Listening Campaign and with all these listening lessons in Breakthrough Listening. But the point here is keep track of what listening blocks are out there for yourself and for others. Do what it takes to overcome them. And if you can't, listen anyway. Thanks for listening.